Hello and welcome to our Red Hat discussion on how 5G and Edge are creating new opportunities for industries and telcos. I'm Guy Daniels, Director of Content at Telecom TV, and we're going to be looking at how digital service providers are transforming their infrastructure to enable vertical applications, provide business agility, and improve their competitive advantage. Well, joining me now is Darrell Jordan-Smith, who is Senior Vice President of Industries and Global Accounts at Red Hat. Hello, Darrell. Very good to see you again. Since we last spoke, you've expanded your role at Red Hat and you're now responsible for global accounts and industries. What do you see happening in the industries that you're covering with regard to Edge?
Well, thank you. Great to be here again with you, Guy. We're seeing a lot of innovation at the edge of the network, not only with the service providers who are looking at different radio access technologies to drive the next generation network infrastructure, but also how those infrastructures are going to apply in different industry segments, because a lot of the service providers need to monetize those investments by delivering the next generation of applications that actually leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning and augmented reality. So as an example, we're doing a lot of work in many different segments, and if you look at the manufacturing segment, looking at, the quality of materials going into the production line, the quality of the material actually coming off the production line, doing all of sort of the telemetry gathering in order for us to do predictive maintenance in the manufacturing plant, and actually redesigning the entire plant around how that footprint will evolve in the future using edge-based technologies. And service providers are actually a very key partner in being able to facilitate that. We also are applying that to the connected car, collecting telemetry for the car, doing the predictive maintenance on the car, looking at actually different services that can be downloaded to the vehicle on the road. And then in the future, looking at autonomous driving as a key application, again, all requiring edge, low latency based communications and services to facilitate that at the edge of the network. We then go into healthcare, where we're looking and working with a lot of the healthcare providers around the globe around how they interface with their patients, and how we do collect data over the network in order for us to do predictive diagnosis of particular issues and problems, because people aren't going to hospitals and their doctors as much at the moment because of the current global circumstance. And I think that's going to change the way we interface and work with our healthcare providers and the newer technologies in terms of biometrics. We're doing a lot of work in vaccine rollout at the moment in terms of managing in real time at the edge, looking at artificial intelligence in order to provide more effective vaccine rollout and maximizing the amount of vaccine for the people that actually are scheduled or don't actually come in that day, and then actually how we actually get more people vaccinated and managing that, all running applications and services on our platforms at the edge. Then if we look at financial services, we're doing a lot of work with banks, in particular around ATMs in terms of enhancing security as you actually interface with your bank through an ATM outlet, or as you walk into a branch, to minimize the amount of contacts that you might have through a particular branch. So the person that coming into the branch will be identified. They will then be able to connect with the right person around the right products and services to that individual as they walk into a branch. Through to transport, another big area for us. We've just launched in Japan with NEC and Narita Airport, contactless throughput as you arrive at the airport, all the way through to when you actually get on the vehicle, on the vehicle, the aircraft itself, in order how you actually don't need to touch many different people as you go through that experience, to speed up the experience, the throughput, as well as the overall experience as you actually getting through the airport. So there are many different applications that we're driving, and we're working with all the service providers who are going to be instrumental in enabling all of that at the edge.
Well, so many applications, so many opportunities, as you've mentioned there. Has the role of partners and the ecosystem changed for Red Hat because of what's happening with Edge?
Oh, absolutely. I think partners are having to work with different cloud providers. So companies like Amazon or Azure for example, they really want to develop and test and certify their cloud native based application on a common platform that can run in those environments as well as on premise. So as we've spoken to many times before, Red Hat's, core value proposition is that we create the best common platform, the best horizontal platform to be able to do that, that can scale at large data centers all the way through to a single node at the far edge using the same technology. And what that means for a partner is they build their application once and they can deploy it in many different scenarios, which actually then reduces the cost and the number of different platforms and variants they have to support in the marketplace, which then furthers their time to market and their ability to support cloud native applications in the cloud in a manner that is more traditionally orientated around telecommunications, around carrier grade availability.
One of the technology access areas that's seeing a lot of innovation at the moment is the RAN. What are you seeing in terms of developments and opportunities around OpenRAN?
Well, we're seeing OpenRAN as a really viable choice for service providers to disaggregate their network using open standards, bringing in open source software to address some of those open standards to deploy next generation network topologies at the radio access layer at the edge. And we're doing a lot of work with very key vendors in that area, and we're seeing a lot of interest from service providers because they see it as a viable option for them as they deploy network-based infrastructure. I think a lot of them have been trialing it in 3/4G based environments in rural areas, but I think we're going to see that be mainstream in 5G in the not too distant future. As a matter of fact, Red Hat just recently has been nominated with Altiostar, one of our partners, as for a GLOMO award for cloud native based applications in that Pacific environment. So we're very excited about where ORAN is going and at the pace that it actually is moving as well.
We have this next wave of opportunity for telcos. We're in the middle of this next wave, and telcos are keen to capture it and be at the forefront of innovation and deployments. What's your message to telcos? How can a partnership with Red Hat help them with their edge strategies?
Well, I'm pleased you used the word partnership because telecommunications companies to us are our partners in this journey. So we're working with them in all of the open source and upstream communities in order to build out the use cases necessary for them to take that code into a hardened down stream distribution, which is what we sell, service, and support in all those configurations that I just mentioned. And deploy that. So in order to do that, we have to partner very closely with these service providers. So, we're doing a lot of work with Bharti and Telco Argentina and Verizon, Rakuten, Telenor, just to name but a few, where we're actually advocating for these use cases in the upstream communities in order to build a platform that they can use horizontally across many different footprints. So they're really our partners in that context. So if you think of the cloud and our technology, really we have to work very closely with them as partners. In addition to that, we have to also work with a lot of the companies that bring the workloads, the cloud native functions to the environment as well. So, Ericsson, Samsung, Nokia, all of these are in our ecosystem, and these are real partners and actually customers of us as we work together to solve some of these more complex issues, particularly in the radio access networking layer, where we need to drive costs down in order to be able to make the deployment of, say, 5G technologies, just to pick one, more proliferant and more affordable, particularly as the service providers are having to spend large amounts of capital in that area. We need to be able to reduce that cost, get to what we call standalone 5G as soon as we possibly can, and then work with them to apply that technology into different enterprise segments. So when I was talking about all these different use cases we're working on at the moment, they're just but a few. The real opportunity are those applications that haven't even really been developed yet, that are going to be enabled at the edge with these service providers. So we're creating an environment with them in terms of how we get to market, how we can actually monetize that investment in manufacturing, in automotive, in energy, in healthcare, in retail, etc.
Darrell, thank you very much for sharing your insights and how you continue to partner with telcos and the ecosystem. Good to talk to you again. And you can find out more about the Red Hat Edge. Just visit redhat.com/edge. For now, though, from all of us, thank you for watching and goodbye.